everybody, Josh RV Nerd here from Bishop's RV up in Coopersville, Michigan today, and it's getting near the end of the day. I only had so much time that I was here, and I said, you know, I have time to really record and go through one more of these in depth. Unfortunately, I don't really have the time to get through a second one, but I saw these 3 Sierra fifth wheels, and I kind of wanted to go through them, and I couldn't pick one. So, in typical overachiever fashion, we're going to look at all 3. So, this is going to be very different from a lot of my normal videos because I'm going to have to skip through all 3 of these at a little more abbreviated pace, but I think through the whole thing, you're going to kind of get a who is Sierra? What is Sierra? What do they have to offer? Are they going to be the right one for you? And we're looking at 3 models today. We're looking at their 3330 and their 3440 bunkhouses in their traditional Sierra series. Then we're also going to take a peek at their big 384 up in their Sierra Luxury series. So you kind of get a feel for who they are, what they do, and how the upgraded Fancy Pants Shiny Shoes series works for you. Now, this is going to be a little more House of Pain jump around style video for what I normally do, so I will make sure that I chapter mark this. So if you are interested more in one or the other, you can jump to the one that interests you, and I will be putting specs for each individual model on the screen as we get to them to kind of give you a reference point. So kicking us off, introducing us to Sierra, the 3330, and this feels like a very good model to use as like an intro to Sierra, because one of the things that I've really noticed by looking at their lineup, they're very much bunkhouse specialists. And you might go, yeah, but what do these guys compare to? They feel roughly in line with something like a Wildwood Heritage Glen or Salem Hemisphere, which is roughly the same RV. Well, those two things are the same RV. They share a lot of qualities, a lot of DNA. They've gone about a couple things a little differently. One of the real signature calling cards to this floor plan, though, is not just the private rear bunkhouse, but the fact that it's a full 2-bathroom. And I kind of wanted to kick this one off because it's sort of a sneaky cool layout that I really didn't see coming. Because, like, at a glance, you know, it's a 1-slide living room, which gave me feels sort of like a 321 Arctic Wolf, if you're familiar. And if you're not, I'll try to remember to leave a link in the video description for you to check that out. But the thing is, a no-slide kitchen. Like when people, I want a big fifth wheel, I want all the space I can get, I want tons of storage, and I want lots of slides. You don't necessarily realize a lot of times that a lot of slides actually can be something that interferes with a lot of storage. So, I mean, look at all this. This thing has like Energizer Bunny storage. It just keeps going. Now, right here, this is the factory standard. I think it's like a 15 or 16 cubic foot residential refrigerator. It does come factory included with an inverter to allow it to run while you're going down the road, so you don't show up with ice cream soup and spoiled fish or, I don't know, whatever. You get the idea. You don't want to get sick off this stuff. And all of the cabinetry in here, by the way, is pocket screwed. Something else that I noticed, and it's like already the little bit that I've touched these Sierras, I'm starting to kind of feel that these might be a little bit of an undervalued silent assassin in the RV industry. I'm seeing pretty good fit and finish. I'm seeing things like soft close cabinet doors. There's some really cool smart features going on. Like that's one of those larger 22-inch ovens. They're giving us a place for a wastebasket in there. You might notice the central vacuum pool cleaner kit that's in that thing. Really smart appliance placement. Like a multi-speed fan controller. That's what that little white switch is on the wall over there. That will activate and control that big ceiling fan that we may have peeked at briefly earlier. But the total amount of storage on this thing is just absolutely bonkers. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. And I believe there's a little bit, I can't tell if there's an LED accent light above those kitchen cabinets or if the ceiling lights are actually just reflecting some light from up there. And even that ceiling fan, man, that thing's got some visual pizzazz. Look at it. It looks like 4 meat cleavers spinning around in midair. Although that thing gets spinning up, you want to stick your hand up there while it's in full blast mode. It's going to feel like a meat cleaver, I suppose. Blackout night roller shades are a nice little find in these. That, by the way, is interesting. That is an inner spring, almost classic conventional style hide-a-bed. The dinette is a very traditional booth style dinette, by the way. You do need to take the cushions off to get to the storage below. Now, moving back here into this private rear room, this is like, this took me by surprise. I didn't see this coming because this thing, it's a loft. It's a like a second living room. It's in that sense, it's like a second bedroom. You don't have to throw anybody upstairs because it has that built-in ladder that can slide out of the way. You've got the drop-down bunk. Now that you've seen before, but chances are, I bet you haven't seen this. Look at this thing. This is cool. So I walked in here. I wasn't expecting much. I thought this thing was just going to be a jackknife sofa, but when I went to start monkeying with it, I realized it wasn't like just a normal jackknife sofa. Then I started looking, and I went, holy cow. This has like, you know, a theater seat kind of middle console with a couple cup holders here that you can fold down if you want. But did you notice how that whole thing moved a little bit? It got me looking around, and I noticed how big and thick and bulky it was down here. Household outlets and USB plugs right here where you're going to want them. So if it's like like you could put a table in front of you, turn this into a laptop station. You could have a screen mounted across from it. This could be, I think, very easily a legit mobile working office where you have your own private bathroom. You've got a door that you can close. You can shut it down, get rid of all the distractions. But if you do still want it to be like a little bit of a bunk function, look at this noise. It has this little like gas strut system. Then you just... Are you kidding me? Are you... Hold on. Let me get the shoes off. Look at this. This is adult size. This is awesome. So once again, I thought that was pretty darn cool, and it's big and thick and plush. Speaking of that, the bunk down here, they're using like thicker bunk mattresses. Reminds me a lot of like Rockwood and Flagstaff in that regard. Now, slowly spinning our way over here, this I thought was interesting. Just a generic kind of storage cabinet, but it does have a hanging rack in there. Now, it's obviously not super tall, but it's kind of intended for maybe little kids storage. Although, you could probably just as well fold some stuff up in there, you know, if you were so inclined. And again, I think the ability to potentially use this as a little bit of a rolling mobile office, I think that's a viable thing that's on the table right here. But again, this is a full 2-bathroom, which I think is super cool. Not even a bath and a half, although this rear bathroom back here will be fully travel accessible, which is going to be a key thing when we get, into road mode later on this one. Now, it's a very interesting thing they did here, and one of the cool things with Sierra is that they also do a lot of destination travel trailers, and they were able to kind of piggyback off some of that engineering, because if you look at this, you're like, okay, so I take a shower. How does the steam get out of there? In that back corner, there's actually a vent there that is like a chimney that goes up to the ceiling. That's something they do in destination trailers with a loft above. So they were equipped to be able to handle that. And the hiccup with this, though, is this is definitely a kid shower, or it's a shower that's going to fit you a little bit better. We'll say if you're gravity friendly instead of taller like me. So from the rear wall looking forward, walking out of the, what do we call this? Bunk office bathroom? I don't know. You get the idea. What do we look like from the back moving forward here? You know, you're done working for the day, or if you're sleeping back here and you wake up, oh God, look at that. We already saw the double outlets at easy reach locations in the kitchen. Another good set of those right over there. This floor plan, it's not like the greatest in terms of like awesome direct TV entertainment focus. The TV does at least pivot out, thankfully. So let me actually get around this door. If you're over here in the dining, just to kind of give you a little bit of a look, it's pretty good from over here. It's not really too much of a neck crank. Let me put you in the driver's seat of that sleeper sofa, though. This is the view from the right-hand seat. Still not bad. It's still a bit of a left, dog leg left here. And if I slide to the left, you are, holy crap, you're all up in the face of this thing. Like, what was, I forgot again. Was it THX used to make those commercials where the guy sits down in front of a speaker and it starts like blowing his entire living room away? That's what it feels like when you're all up in the face of that thing. Now, here in the standard Sierra series, you start with a single 15,000 BTU air conditioner, but you can add a second one as an option up in the bedroom, and they're all 50 amp service standard. Now, it's another nice little indicator detail that I may have originally pegged these wrong. These might maybe be one more step above where I originally placed them. Like, almost every light has an extra little switch like that. It wouldn't be hard just to reach over here and click. I could reach it from the sofa, but it's those little details they're doing here that just kind of give you a little bit nicer overall ownership experience. Now, moving upstairs here to the bedroom and bathroom deck, in case you hadn't noticed, my shoes make for an excellent doorstop on an unlevel travel trailer. Again, that second air conditioner there, that is an optional piece of equipment on the standard Sierra series. We'll talk more about the luxury series when we get over there. This is interesting because this is a big fifth wheel, but the intention of this one is to give you maximum like sleeping and function space without being exceptionally big, long, and heavy. And it has a more of like a bedroom bathroom shared closet slide as compared to just an east-west bed slide. There's some benefits to doing this though. It keeps the RV shorter, it keeps it lighter weight, and that saves you money. And something else I noticed, this RV still maintains those like soft close cabinet doors, even up here in the bathroom. I almost expected them to drop down and lose that. Now, one of the things is, because this is a big fifth wheel using a small fifth wheel style bedroom, that means that there's no big ankle breaker step of death up here. This is a full walk-in height, like 6.5 foot upper deck. So when you saw me take that little shower selfie, smiling like an idiot, that is what the entire ceiling headroom will look like through the upper bedroom and bathroom deck. Now, this is a 60 by 80 true queen bed. There is not, however, an option for a king on this one. That being said, this queen bed doesn't suck. So it is residential size, so the Bed Goblin Union's not going to be happy. There's going to be no toes for them to get. But this mattress, it's not the blue backbreaker wafer of death that you normally find. And that's the thing. This is not necessarily, in all respects, the fancy pants, shiny shoes, over-the-top glamping camper. But at the same time, folks, there's some serious content hitting here. Now, with this being forced to a true queen bed, that means that this is exceptionally bedside stand CPAP friendly, and you'll find household and USB outlets on both sides. And what I'm noticing here, what they're kind of doing is they're jutting the bedroom past the construction of the RV into the actual nose cap. They're really utilizing every square inch of space they can. Look at this. The struts overhead all the way through the bedroom. Not a lot of things do that. That, by the way, is like a little built-in Wi-Fi router style unit that they have in here. And then we've got all the storage going on over here in the closet slide. But first, I want you to get to see that dresser drawer before I drop the bed down in front of it. Now, the thing is, in this bedroom, you are really relying on this to be the entirety of your hanging space. And it's not to say that you couldn't spend a real extended time in this camper, but with the with that limited factor right there, it does feel more like, an extended weekend or maybe a little 2-week trip kind of rig. Now, that being said, not everybody feels the need to get just a whole crap ton of hanging storage in every single RV. I'll have people comment, even on big fancy fifth wheels, like, I ain't Uncle Gary. I don't need to hang up a whole bunch of sundresses. I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of hanging storage. But despite the fact that we're moving a little faster here today, I still want to showcase the road mode function for you. Remember that bedroom door that didn't want to hold itself closed? You actually see my legs stretching out and my like stomach muscles are engaged and like quivering because, I don't work out as I do that long stretch. Now the bedroom, the bathroom, fully accessible with the slide closed. That's not a concern at all. Well, you start wondering though, okay, what happens when we go downstairs? And you do lose some things, but you lose very little of what's going to matter for some travel stops. Like if you get in here, because the kitchen's not in a slide at all, you can completely get in here. You can get to all of the kitchen cabinetry. You can get to all of the refrigerator completely unobstructed. So what about that bunk room? Well, that is effectively a total loss. So kind of keep that in mind a little bit. But remember, if you are making just a quick travel stop, depending on where you're parked, sometimes you can't get one of these sets of steps open or the other one. That could be where having that second full bathroom just one door away might be your little kind of quick saving grace. Or if it's a potty stop and mom, dad, we both gotta go, well, you can actually send, 2 people at a time in here for a quick little, relief station stop or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, one other thing I want to mention is that big quad step, more ride, stable step up front, that's standard. If it's a 2-door floor plan, the second stable step is actually optional. By default, this would have the older style fold-out steps on it. Now, we got the slides back open, though you can't really tell from right now because the 3330 has no slides on the door side, which might actually be an interesting option for some folks who are looking for something with a little more park camp friendliness. You know, if you're going to be in one place for a long time, sometimes people do things like build a deck next to their RV, even if it's a short, only like 1 foot deck. It just kind of gets you up off the ground, away from the dirt and the grime. Sometimes that's kind of nice. Now, you're going to have either 4 or 6 point auto leveling depending on the size of the Sierra that we're looking at. This one here is a 4-point system. You don't see another jack just in front of those tires over there. Let's talk construction. Up top, you've got a 3/8 fully walkable roof deck, and then basically the majority of the structure is a welded laminated aluminum cage structure, including the slide outs and the slide walls. So most slide faces on fiberglass RVs are laminated. Most of these are not, and they're also using a really rough textured slide skin on it. Ooh, I just noticed too, a little bit bigger water heater on this one. That's kind of cool. Now, this one right here, its upper deck style does mean that it's got a little bit shorter overall size, which also means a little bit smaller pass-through compartment. But frankly, I don't think that's too bad, and you actually get a little bit of the glimpse of some of the aluminum structure work that they're doing in there. That door, though, does not have any kind of holdback, so on a windy day like today, it might slam itself shut on you or fling itself open against those little silver twist latches right there, so kind of keep that in mind. Now, this does have an enclosed forced air heated underbelly. Notice, too, it has that drop panel accessibility. I love that. That first came from, like, Cedar Creek, and suddenly, recently here, it's found its way to a lot of different RVs. One of the things you might notice on this RV, though, it is a dual sewer system. And that's due to the fact that it just has various water facilities spread out all over this RV. The front outlet will be the upper deck master bed and bath, whereas the rear outlet will actually be the kitchen and rear bedroom and bathroom. Now, let's talk about the gray tank capacities on this one and the black tanks. If you read this, you're like, holy sweet mother of all that's holy. Well, it's double holy. Anyway, you get the idea. You're like, this thing has just insane holding tank ratings. Remember, the bathrooms each have their own holding tanks, black and gray. The kitchen has its own gray tank. So on paper, the freshwater capacity on this one actually looks a little bit wonky. Now, you saw you have that rear swing out bumper grill. Your propane quick connect is over here on the side of this old guy. And kind of finishing up the feel of a camp kitchen a little bit. Inside here, we do have at least a little outdoor refrigerator, which is kind of handy, keeping the party going and the drinks on hand. Now, something I wondered, if you're going to build a deck next to this one, you might need to remove the steps, which isn't terribly hard. There's actually just a couple little pull pins that you pull on that. But as long as you keep it below the skirt line, basically you'd still have easy access to like all that refrigerator stuff. Then again, you're pretty much going to have to do that anyway because that's, you know, where the doors are located. And you see that little vent in that upper corner off the side? It almost looks like a washer-dryer vent. That is the vent there for the, what am I wanting to say? Oh, that bathroom shower vent so that, you know, you can get the steam out of that thing. Now, let's climb up top. And they're doing some cool things up here. I like the white AC shrouds. They may not look quite as cool from the ground level, but they keep you a lot cooler when you're inside. And remember, anytime you're getting an air conditioner from this group, you're getting a 15,000 BTU, no 13.5. So this is, with the second air option, a 30,000 BTU air system. And all of the Sierras will have that 190 watt Go Power solar package. And I do believe they actually include a factory battery. And that's actually what I've been using to power the slides, the lights, the everything. The good old God-given sun that we've got today has been doing us a nice little solid. So that was the 3330. This back here is the 3440. Now at this point, I think I've given you the general DNA of kind of what makes up a Sierra. And I did ride up here with somebody else today, and at 6 o'clock he said the wheels are getting up, so I gotta get moving. So again, I'm gonna cruise through this one at a little more abbreviated pace than the last, despite the fact that it's actually a little bit bigger RV, because I think you'll actually have a good understanding of what you're looking at along the way. So just to quick establish, the 3330 and the 3440, they have the exact same upper deck and front end. So everything that I've already showed you there still applies, although I did forget to showcase the central vacuum system's location in that 3330. So I'm kind of glad that I had a second go at that. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time repeating myself up here because you pretty much already know what you're getting into. Now, if you're looking for bed slides, don't worry. They've got plenty of those up in the luxury series. For now, I'm just I had a chance to showcase 3 floor plans, and I said, hey, I'm gonna do it. Now, down here, the lower deck of this one, this is, opposing living room slides with a kitchen island, and they found a way to actually pack good storage into this floor plan, which is an area where I actually see a lot of manufacturers really struggle. The first one that I kind of saw do something like this was the Cougar 364 BHL. What's funny is this is actually almost exactly like a little brother to the third RV that we're going to look at. I think it's called the 384 here. And the way they built that out, that entertainment center and all that storage, it's built out all around the half bathroom there off that rear loft room. It just looks and feels awesome and massive in here, and that extra space, the extra construction that they put into will really do us some awesome wonders when it comes to the kitchen capacity in this. Cougar makes something like this. Arctic Wolf, Salem Hemisphere Heritage Gun, like everybody and their brother makes something like this now, and they all have a couple interesting little advantages and benefits above and beyond one another. They don't always hit the exact same notes everywhere across the board. Oh, crap. I told myself I was going to try to remember these. I think, if I remember right, this upper loft is a 54-inch wide by 74-inch long bed space, whereas the bed down below us is a 60-inch wide, and my belt loop's hooked on something. I can't tell you how many belt loops I have just ripped and destroyed like that. But this lower bed is a 60 by 74. So this is a loft. It's a true 2-bedroom, albeit this is a Camp Queen. Now, when I saw this, I said, oh, I bet this lists for storage, but it didn't do it in the way I expected. Because it's gas strutted and it's easy lift, but it lifts up sideways. I couldn't figure out why only half of the bed was moving. Now, what's interesting is you have both inside and outside storage access onto this. But then over here, you've just got great dresser space. And if I get this bed out of the way, you see it actually has some decent closet hanging space as well. Now, this is pretty common with all the people who build this floor plan. And the neat thing with this floor plan right here, this one always strikes me as really awesome for a non-traditional family, for lack of a better way to put it. Remember, still getting nicer beds back here. That is cool. But this could be a literal ye old mother-in-law suite, or you know what, maybe dad's getting older and dad lives with us or something like that, or still wants to travel. Perhaps you have an adult child with special needs that needs their own quiet private space that would really benefit from having their own individual little bathroom space, built right onto their bedroom back here. This is a really cool floor plan that works in a way that most bunkhouses simply just do not. Now, that's a tiny sink, but it's also, I think, kind of intended a little bit more for time. Well, maybe it's not so small. Sometimes circle stuff is a little bit deceptive there. Let me give you a little reference point. Now, I'm going to slowly tilt you straight up so that you do see that, yes, the half bath here does at least have itself a little ventilation fan, which I think you're really going to like. Thankfully, you don't have to be Paul Bunyan 10 foot tall to reach that thing. It's got a wall control switch. And again, I'm really impressed with their consistency in making sure that almost every light in every floor plan has its own individual switches. Like there's a light switch over there for the lights above the bed. Like they're in locations that make sense, and my belt loop is hooked on another door. Oh my Lord. Doorknobs instead of door handles would be better for my pants collection. I seem to be just on a roll with that today. So anyway, we're talking about the storage in the kitchen here, and I hadn't really had a chance to show that yet. That space right there, it's probably mostly just for show, but those split side pantries, those are no joke. Like, that's not a wasted space whatsoever. We already kind of saw the other oven open, so I want to make sure that I got you down to the drawer down below that here. Let me swing around to the side a little bit. Now, I've said the phrase soft close doors a few times. Ooh, good power outlet location. What I haven't said is soft close drawers. which kind of leads you to believe that it has one and not the other. I've kind of failed you in that regard because it does have both. And again, they're very consistent. Even the dresser drawers in the rear loft second bedroom, or up in the bedroom bathroom closet slide, it has just nice little convenience factors all the way. And look at that, another dedicated pantry. Cool. But, like, this style of floor plan, the road mode access always sucks, right? Right? Well, no, not so much, not in this case. So we're at the entry door looking forward. With the door next to that hallway, the bedroom and the bathroom, because it's just a closet slide, those always remain accessible and functional. The question then becomes, what about the lower deck? And usually, when you have opposing slides like this, and you have an island in the kitchen in a bunkhouse, they never think about the refrigerator. They never think about the traveling access, except for the fact that Sierra did. Look at this. They position the refrigerator in a way that makes it fully accessible all of the time. Like, you can absolutely get the freezer open. Now, normally there'd be a travel lock there. This door is the only one that just didn't completely open, but I feel like it is fully still accessible. Now, the other thing is, the rear room of this RV also remains fully accessible. That comes with a little bit of a caveat, though. You do need to utilize this second door into the half bathroom, but if you do that, one, it's cool that you have quick half bathroom access, so just like the 3330 Sierra, you have, double time bathroom access at a travel stop, but you can utilize the refrigerator and both bathrooms and both bedrooms on this RV with the slides closed. Now, that being said, if you notice, I have already gone ahead and taken the liberty of opening up the the slides again. Now, just like we saw in the first one, you have that grill on the back there that kind of swings around, and you have an extra refrigerator, which once again does not have a magnet holdback, as you just saw, because I am not Obi-Wan Kenobi and I am not using the Force on that thing. I have a little bit of a bone to pick with this floor plan. I really wish it had a second awning behind that slide right there, because unfortunately this one really does have limited awning space as a result. So I think the solution for that is I would get one of those like 10 by 10 easy pop-up kind of attic rooms, and I just bring that along with me. Frankly, remember that big underbed storage space in that rear second bedroom loft thing? You got plenty of space to do it right there. I think that'd work like a champ. Now, the front end storage is going to look, again, just like the 3330. Nothing will change there. Something I haven't really talked about, though, on these is the weather package. If you want a more extreme package, they have an optional thing that will do something like upgrade the furnace and one or two other little odds and ends to help really get you through a more cold snap, like, extended cold use kind of situation. Although, with that bigger furnace, keep in mind, you are going to be eating up your propane. So at this point, we've seen kind of the base. This is like the core of what Sierra offers. The thing is, I forgot to open the slides. Doesn't matter. We're doing it live. The thing is, they go another step above and beyond with what they call the Sierra Luxury Series. Now, this is, the reason I wanted to jump to this one next is because it's very similar in terms of floor plan from the 3440 that we just looked at. But what you're going to get here is like, you're like, okay, look, I want the bed slide. I want a bigger fridge. I want those big high-end plush features and functions. That's what you start to get up here. And when I took a look at these from the outside, at a glance, I was like, okay, one says Sierra, one says Sierra Luxury. I'm not really seeing a big difference. But when I started reading the things that you get and the upgraded features that come with it, I started to see it really is like a very solid, true trim package upgrade above the base Sierra series. That I was like, I kind of like what I'm seeing here. You start seeing there, it's not necessarily anything that's going to make and break the camping experience by comparison, but it's a little more of those lush and plush creature comforts, like a little more accent lighting, and you'll see a little bit more focus on like some living elements. Like if I swing around the corner over here, you see that this one's now picking up a theater seat situation, giving us that extended living experience. And the first builder of a floor plan that I saw like this that included a theater seat right there was actually I'll never forget it, the Open Range 3X 427 BHS. Oh my lord, that floor plan was an absolute beastly monster. I absolutely loved it. And this is pretty much just Sierra's version of something like that. You know what is really weird though? That window opens for airflow. But that window is just for maximized viewing, not an airflow window. At least the slide side windows open for airflow. They put some nice tall walk-in slides on this as well, which I really kind of enjoyed. So if you stand up straight at the dinette, you're not going to noggin clocking yourself out. Again, you're going to be looking at like upgraded lighting fixtures and features, some more focus on seating, and the luxury series will get you bed slides, which is something that we haven't seen yet. A little more focus on things like that. Now, everything that we're looking at today happens to be a bunkhouse model, and mostly just because that's what I happen to have available to me currently. I will try to keep an eye out for like their front kitchen, their front living room. They do some really nice couples models up here in the luxury series, whereas the base Sierra series tends to be more of like a small core bunk floor plan specialist brand. Now over here, you might notice a bigger refrigerator. This thing right here is a 22 cubic foot fridge freezer as compared to the 16s that we saw in the base Sierra series. There is a gas electric two-way option available on that. It's a 4-door 18 cubic foot variety, by the way. You may also notice like a bigger microwave. You've got that big 4-burner stove right there. I would like a little bit of extra space on either side of that stove, but at least they left us enough where if you do have some big pots or pans, you can actually make those things fit in there. There was also something here that really shocked and really impressed me. This floor plan with all of its slides, and the doors can be a problem because the doors could get caught behind a slide out. It's simple, it's inexpensive. Frankly, we could use the word cheap, but it is effective. That little button latch right there to make sure that door doesn't flip open in transit and get crushed, that could be a lifesaver. Oh, sorry, I'm being a little over dramatic because I'm excited. Not a lifesaver, but a money saver and potentially a trip saver so you don't screw up your slide. Because one of the other things that you're getting when you step up into the Sierra Luxury Series above the base model is all of the slide outs on the main deck are now hydraulic slides that all feed off of one button. So the smallest slides tend to operate first. What that would mean is the slides back here in this opposing extra wide double slide bunk room, they're going to be the ones that operate first. So it's really important that you make sure that those doors are secured. But when there's a super slide in front of it that's, already in the way, it's hard to do that. Now remember that cool little gliding sofa? That's actually an optional piece of equipment, but you're getting, is that optional? I'm sorry, I've looked at a lot of information very fast. I'll try to put a note on the screen to clarify. But you're getting that here in this bunk room as well, just like you did that 3330. I love that thing. I think that's the best sofa I've ever seen in the bunk room of an RV. That thing absolutely just shocks me. And again, kind of like the 3330, you've got that little kid's hanging storage space. My only concern with that, though, is I don't know that it's actually deep enough to put a hanger in there, but I don't know, maybe little kids' hangers are of an appropriate size where that could potentially work for you. But this floor plan, what I like about it, with these opposing slides in this rear room, you have just an absolute awesome full-on second living rainy day space back here. But very similar to what we saw out of the 3440, the second camper that we looked at today. You also have a half bath built off of this room. So it's kind of interesting. When you get up here into the luxury series, they have enough space where they start, oops, sorry, I'm bumping into stuff over here. They start combining and borrowing and meshing elements from their other floor plans, which I think is actually cool because they're able to reuse, thought processes and engineering that they've already done once to maximize the function of the whole thing here. Like that's the same little sink that we saw before, a little piece of trim popping off there. We'll have to get that addressed. And up top here, you've got that exact same ventilating fan that we saw before with the exact same wall switch. Now, by the way, you may have noticed when I was on the roof of the very first one, there were these black shrouds over the vents. Those things are basically rain blocker vents. Now back in the living space here, again, this is a bigger model. So now we have, 3 seating spaces. We have a sofa, a dinette, and another sofa. And again, we have those, a little bit extra tall walk-in slides right there. You can see a little picture of my stupid face standing in that thing as I slide in there. We still have the same blackout roller shades, by the way. But I realize so far we haven't really seen the kitchen storage in this one. I want to make sure not to miss that. And again, we have a larger refrigerator, 6 cubic foot, I believe, larger. So basically, an entire additional travel trailer sized fridge added to this thing that, normally wouldn't be there. I'm being picky about this. Now, this is just, I'm nitpicking one specific floor plan. It just feels a little bit bare and barren up there above that TV, but I don't know what you do. Maybe that'd be a nice little decorating space. Ooh, actually, I know the perfect picture to put up there. Take a look at this. Amazing that so far my wife has not allowed me to do that. Well, look at this. This is crazy. Straight up floor to ceiling pantry with that roller drawerage that we kind of saw out of that 3330. I love roller drawer pantries like that. Now, I realized twice now I almost forgot to cover the island. In the first camper, or the second camper rather, I had to go back and actually get some footage of it. You may notice here in the luxury series, in the kitchen, we upgrade to a solid surface instead of a sealed edge pressed membrane. But overall, the general shape and size of things remains the same. That's something that you actually see from RV companies. When they build multiple models, they will find ways to reuse things they've already used because it's simpler, quicker, less expensive, and easier for the workers to build the same things several times over and over again. So, bigger fridge, more or plush seating, a couple things like that, some solid surface counter. You haven't seen a ton of stuff that really separates this from the standard series so far. That's about to change. First of all, it begins right here with the command center. Rather than just a physical switch panel, we have the little Obi-Wan Kenobi motion activated situation going on over here. And you can Bluetooth sync to this if you're so inclined to be able to operate these things from your phone, which is kind of nice. Where that can be kind of nice is when you're like opening something like the slides on the outside and you want to make sure it doesn't bash anything up. There's our central vac location here. But now, you've seen the same bedroom and bathroom 2 different times. That is about to change, and holy Lord, it looks like somebody murdered the Kool-Aid man over here. That's just, somebody must have bumped the shower and sprayed some antifreeze all over. Porcelain foot flush stool again, and good leg room around that, and I forgot to turn on the lights in here. There's the switch. There we go. I like that little hanging rod right there. And notice, too, extra little linen cabinet above that, but you notice when I was sitting on the toilet, it was not a head knocker. Like we've seen before, excellent upper deck headroom, including here in the shower. But now that we're in the luxury series, we're getting bigger bathrooms and bigger bedrooms, which means bigger, heavier, more expensive RVs, but also with features that are just going to be make or break game changers for some people out there. The bathroom counter space here is pretty good. I like how you have good space on either side of that thing. And one thing that's kind of cool is they put a medicine cabinet over here beside that giant mirror, so you don't have something big and in your face. Makes the whole room look and feel a little bit bigger and nicer, And immediately up in the bedroom, here's another thing that's different on the luxury series. No more optional second air. This is a big honking monster. They recognize that. And they say that second 15,000 BTU air conditioner is standard. So we have a standard total 30,000 BTU centrally ducted air system, twin 15 sharing all the ducting. Now, this is also where we start to pick up bed slides. However, this is a little bit interesting to me. These are pretty much all going to be true queen beds, which is fantastic. But they don't offer a king bed option. My guess is because these models are already so darn large, they may not be able to do that. And maybe you don't care. Maybe you're like, I don't care. I want, I want a queen bed. Well, congratulations. This works great. If you're looking for a king, this might not be the brand for you. But you may notice, along with that bed slide, we are finally starting to see washer-dryer prep, which you haven't really seen on the models before this. A couple other things that help separate the luxury series here. You can actually get from the factory on these, the washer and dryer unit fully installed, or we could do that here for you. Now, up here in the bedroom, when that slide closes, You have to kind of be cognizant of, like, if you want to access the bedroom with the slide closed, you need to make sure you actually leave the door open first, and then I would do something to kind of secure it so it's not banging around, although it doesn't seem to be hitting too awful much. Now, if you notice, too, there are caster rollers down there at the end of the bed, so the end of the bed should be supported. That means as long as you're, not doing the atomic elbow drop in that thing, it should be able to be used without opening the slide. Now, someone actually asked, is it, when the slide is closed, is it rated for aggressively folding laundry? And the answer to that is, further testing needs to be done. I don't know. Perhaps some owners out there could, in a polite, discreet way, tell us what their findings were. I don't know. Now, again, the living room of this in kitchen is very similar to the last one that we just saw. It's stretched out a little bit. The way that it all kind of lines up, though, with this bigger refrigerator, they weren't able to make it so that you can fully access everything in here. However, you can still at least get to a chunk of the fridge, which I think is the most critical portion right here. Also, something else to consider. This RV can be built with an optional 18 cubic foot gas electric fridge and freezer. If you do that, that's a 4-door model. That will give you some freezer access and nearly full fridge access in transit. Remember how I said the second set of stable steps was an option? This is what you would normally get back here on 2-door models, but that second stable step is still an available option. I'd be kind of curious to know, which one would you prefer and why? Now, like our friend the 3440, you can get some double travel stop bathroom access going on at the same time. But because we have those opposing rear end slides on this one, this is not going to be travel stayover friendly. It will only be travel stop friendly for snacktastic, craptastic access. Now, I mentioned earlier, when I first approached these, when you go from a Sierra to a Sierra Luxury, other than the fact that it just looks like they just slapped a sticker up there that says luxury, I wasn't really noticing a lot of difference on the Sierra. Sierra Piper. We got Flagwoods, we got Rock Stabs, we got Sierra Pipers, baby. I am so tired. Anyway, but there are some major differences out here. Actually, what's interesting is a lot of the upgrade features you find on the outside of this, although I think the entirely different bedroom and bathroom on this one and the bigger fridge are pretty significant indoors. They all have this, though. I kind of forgot to showcase this. They are all prepped and ready for not just backup, but also side view cameras. And on the big boys here, big Sierra Pipers, I like that name. I might keep using that. It's another nerdism. That's what we needed. 37 of them. It's wide open up front. They actually move the battery and propane compartments to leave that wide open, and it is available with generator prep. You haven't heard me talk about generators so far. Gen prep is reserved up here into the luxury series. And whereas the base Sierra might be 4-point, might be 6-point electric leveling, you see that this is 6-point, and you see hydraulic action going on this one. Now, another major difference here, but the thing is you can't see it, is if we get down low, well, first of all, you see these are also drop frames. That's why we have that extra drop down. We still have the armored accessibility. But we are picking up 12-volt tank heaters that you haven't seen before on the previous models. You have that fully enclosed privatized docking center like you see right here. And I kind of like how they do this with the spare tire inside this big belly cavity. Now, if you're going down the road and you get a flat tire, yes, you may have to backstrip some cargo out of this thing. You also won't have to deal with something like crawling under the RV that may be on the side of the road that's already a little bit unsteady because we're on 1 tire instead of 2. It just feels a little bit safer to me, a little bit more of a controlled environment. Now that's the box for that big, 50-inch TV that comes in this thing. It's just dwarfed inside this big compartment right there, and that's motion lighting over there on the right-hand side. TV hookups, little outside sprayer port so you can rinse off your toes before you bring all the sand into the camper, man. Once again, they're doing a great job of keeping the speakers down low here. And we already talked about the steps, so we can move on from there. Cruising our way down the side of this thing. I know I'm moving fast, but again, I got to ride. I got to get home. I've been on the road a couple days. I need to get home. direct entry half bath. We kind of peeked at that before, but as long as we're cruising past it. What this one does that I really like is it puts that big camp kitchen right over here on the face of the slide. But they nailed it. They nailed the execution of this. You have that same fridge we've seen. This is galvanized, rolled steel countertops, but we do have an actual sink outside. It's not just a little dog dish that you flip onto the ground. But look at this. Look at the fully equipped function of this. You have like a full second kitchen, effectively. It's got its own storage, its own fridge, its own microwave out here. You've got, I mean, this is fantastic. I love what they've done with this. Now, I'm going to close that before I screw something up and accidentally break it. Working our way around the backside, we see the exact same grill situation that we've seen before. So we have a propane and electric cooker and a fridge and storage and a sink out here. I think that is that qualifies for a fully equipped, like dual kitchen kind of camper, which is pretty sweet. And once again, we've already seen up on the roof, they have the exact same roof fence, we have the exact same air conditioning shrouds, we have the exact same solar package across the board. Woo! That was like playing soccer, and for an out-of-shape, chunky dude like me, playing soccer ain't easy. That's about the fastest I've moved along on a couple of these things. Again, let me know if you kind of like this format. I'm not going to necessarily make this my regular, but when I see a handful of RVs stacked up like this, like I can't get to every single model that comes into my one dealership like I used to. I help cover for multiple places now, and I got to kind of pick and choose which videos I hit. And if I can get multiples in one video like this and you like that format, I may be able to bring a couple more of these, to pass for us. Now, this one was a little more involved because we've never seen a Sierra on this channel. And you heard me call this earlier a Sierra Piper. I realized just now I forgot a major housekeeping note. In the same way that Rockwood and Flagstaff are the exact same RV, in the same way that Salem and Wildwood are the exact same RV, Sierra and Sandpiper are the exact same RV. So that's where I was coming up with the name Sierra Piper. It wasn't just some stupid thing I came, it was a stupid thing I came up with, but there was a reason for it. It was a stupid thing with a good reason. Anyway, you get the idea. Let me know what you think about these. And I get that today all we looked at is bunkhouses. They make some really cool, they make an awesome front living. They make a really cool front kitchen. They make some different things. Most of those are going to be found up in the luxury series, though. But I'd love to hear it. Let me know what you think about these things, guys. And if you appreciate the head-to-head floor plan comparison, the in-depth information, hit that subscribe button if you haven't before. And I'll do my best to try to get some more of these out there for you. So I'm exhausted, and my ride's about to leave. My phone's buzzing. They're probably telling me it's time to go. So take care, stay safe, have fun. Wait for me, everyone!